Alright, so we've all heard of the school shootings that have been happening. They kind of took off there for a little bit this year and last year. Some of the more popular ones, Sandy Hook, Columbine, Virginia Tech. Now, when the media goes to investigate these, they have to pick something to kind of place blame on, because they need something to calm people down. And usually, sadly, it's video games that get blamed because of all the violence that can happen in them. According to ABC News, nearly all Americans, including girls, play video games these days. And I know some of you in here either play, or you maybe watch someone, or you watch it on YouTube. That's a big hit right now. So I'm going to explain to you why there is no link between video games and violence in teenagers. So this is a problem because as I said, nearly 97% of American teens ages 12 to 17 play video games. It impacts us every day. So according to Procon.org, there's a broad consensus among medical associations, pediatricians, parents, and researchers that violent video games cause or increase aggressive behavior. Simulating the violence in video games, such as shooting, that kind of stuff, shooting, stabbing, dismembering, can lead to imitation either on people, which is bad, or animals, which is also bad. The more realistic the controller can also lead to more real-time experience. Wii's, they have the Wiimote, you plug it into something that actually looks like a gun and the trigger actually works. This can lead to people imitating, and it actually gives them more experience with the actual gun. So according to Fox News, a September 2014 peer-reviewed study found that first-person shooter games train players to have better accuracy in shooting a gun outside of the game and made them more likely to aim for the head region. Playing violent video games could also possibly desensitize children. According to a study by the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology, it takes as little as 20 minutes to completely desensitize someone to physical violence. So my proposed solution, there's kind of three parts. The first thing we need to do is get rid of these negative stereotypes. The modern gamer is seen as antisocial, out of shape, or unsightly, just someone that doesn't belong in the public sphere. Now, I'm sure you know me, Nick, and Ethan. We're not antisocial people. We'll talk to anybody. We're not out of shape. I don't think so, at least. And we're not unsightly. I feel like I should be out in public, and I go out on the weekends with them and have fun. So, the second part is we need to broaden our knowledge of the gaming sphere. It's not just Call of Duty games. There's many different genres. There's RPGs, there's simulators, there are RTSs, which is real-time strategy, there's MOBAs, multiplayer online battle arenas, and there's storyteller games. So it's not just simple shoot-em-ups. The third thing we need to do is communicate with the game developers themselves. We can request gore and brutality filters. They're willing to listen if they really think that it's going to impact their sales. So a good example of communication with game developers and decreasing aggression in game is this new Blizzard game that came out earlier this year. It's one of the most hyped up game releases of this year. It's a game called Overwatch. And in the beta, whenever you shot somebody, there would be blood that would come out. It wouldn't be incredibly violent, but it would be noticeable. Basically, because of complaints from people like us, they recreated the whole game and made it so this blood doesn't come out anymore. Overwatch also promotes teamwork. It has voice chat, which causes people to feel more of a connection to the other players, so they're not getting as angry when something bad happens to them. It also gives them objectives, which makes them more of a team player and less of personal score, so they're less likely to get upset if they maybe die, but their team captures the objective. So I urge you to work against stopping these stereotypes. I want you to increase your knowledge of the gaming sphere. Know that it's just not Call of Duty. I want you to communicate with the game developers if something you feel isn't right. I want you to use social media to talk with them. They are very avid. You can go to Twitch streams and talk with them person to person. You need to speak your mind in order to get your side considered. Yes, Ethan.
So about these negative stereotypes, you mentioned how there's a team chat function in Overwatch here.
Yeah.
And is there ever any like any negative things that happen in that voice chat?
Of course, there can be negative sides to it, but it's more important that they communicate with their team and feel the real connection with an actual person, so it's not just like you're playing with 4 random people that you don't know.
What would you say to someone who's never played a video game but maybe is now interested in playing a game?
I would say try to do it with friends. That's a really good way to decrease the amount of aggression that you might feel if you're having fun with friends. And also, don't be so serious about it when you first start out. It's not something that, again, it's just a game. It doesn't really mean anything. But it can mean a lot to some people. But if you're first starting out, don't take everything so seriously.
Okay.